Here it goes. Now we have studied the properties of metals. Just summarize what we have studied earlier. Alright. First one is the reaction of metals with diluted acids. So that will be forming the salt and hydrogen plus release. All those metals which are above hydrogen in activity series displace hydrogen from diluted acid. For example, zinc when reacted with diluted acid is forming zinc sulfate plus hydrogen. This is what is the reaction. Zinc sulfate and hydrogen is released. This is the one. The next one, metals plus salt solution. Suppose like if Mg is put into copper sulfate solution, we get MgSO4 and Cu. This is the reaction of displacement. But from diluted acid, hydrogen is displaced, and from salt solution, the metals are displaced. This is what we are studying. The next one, the reaction of metals with concentrated acid. We have done that also just around. Reaction of metals with concentrated acid. But we can say it is this way. When a metal is reacted with concentrated H2SO4, then what we will be getting is a salt plus water plus sulfur dioxide. So for example, whether it is above hydrogen in the activity series or below hydrogen in the activity series, the reaction goes this way. When copper is made to react with concentrated H2SO4, then we will be getting copper sulfate is a salt plus SO2 plus H2O. So when a metal is made to react with concentrated H2SO4, whether it is above or below doesn't make any difference, we get salt, sulfur dioxide and water. Similarly, when this same metal is made to react with concentrated HNO3 or between, we will be getting CuNO3 all twice plus NO2 plus H2O. Now, when a metal is made to react with concentrated H2SO4 or HNO3, when a metal is made to react with concentrated H2SO4 or HNO3, we get the respective salt. We get the respective salt plus sulfur dioxide or nitrogen dioxide plus H2O, water. Understood it well? If copper is made to react with concentrated H2SO4, we get copper sulfate, H2O, water plus sulfur dioxide. And if copper is made to react with concentrated HNO3, we get copper nitrate, H2O plus NO2. This is what is the reaction of metals with salt solution, with concentrated acid. Understood it? In the second chapter, I think, remember, we had studied about amphoteric oxides. Certain metal oxides react with acid as well as alkali to produce salt and water. Aluminum oxide, zinc oxide, etc. reacts with NaOH or H2SO4. The respective salt and water are produced. Remember, such type of oxides are known as amphoteric oxides. Oxides of certain elements which reacts with acid as well as alkalis to produce salt and water. 3 examples: tin oxide, zinc oxide and aluminum oxide. Remember that. This is all about the properties of metals. Physical properties we had studied it earlier, and chemical properties, summarizing it once again. Compare the reactions. Highly reactive metals burn in air. Sodium burn in air to form sodium oxide. Magnesium will burn only on heating. Fe will burn when it is red hot. Fe is put into a jar containing oxygen. This is what we are studying. The next one, summarizing it. When these metals react with water, sodium, potassium, These metals get reacted with cold water and hydrogen gas is released. We have studied it, dancing sodium. Then these metals, lesser reactive one, magnesium reacts with hot water to produce magnesium oxide and hydrogen. Fe reacts with steam to produce Fe3O4 and hydrogen. And copper does not react. This is a reaction of metals with water. The next, coming back to that of diluted acid. All those metals which are above hydrogen in the activity series displace hydrogen from diluted H2SO4, H2SO4, HCl. We have studied it. Activity series, what is given in NCERT book, you must learn it. Copper is a metal which is below hydrogen in the activity series. And copper does not displace hydrogen. Remember, hydrogen is displaced by a metal which is more reactive than hydrogen. And that is why metal activity series is having hydrogen. You know that helium, lithium, sorry, this one, lithium, sodium, potassium, etc. It goes on, and then it comes H2. After H2, copper is mentioned. So all those metals which are above hydrogen in the activity series will displace hydrogen, and below hydrogen does not. So if a question is asked, how does copper react with diluted H2SO4 and give the chemical equation? Only one line answer, no reaction. How does copper react with diluted HCl? One line answer, no reaction. And the reason is copper is below hydrogen in the activity series, therefore displacement cannot take place. The next one, the reaction of metals to salt solutions. All those metals which are above in the metal activity series can displace the metals which are below from their salt solution. Copper can displace silver from silver nitrate. Now there is a question, which of the reaction is possible? They will give you 4 equations. Mg plus H2SO4 gives MgSO4 and H2. Copper plus diluted HCl gives copper chloride plus hydrogen. Zinc plus aluminum chloride will give, etc. Aluminum plus zinc chloride. So some reactions will be given. And out of this, one reaction is possible, or 1 or 2 reactions will be possible, that you must understand on the basis of reaction of displacement. Zinc is a metal which is below aluminum. So zinc cannot displace aluminum. So that activity series, it is to be learned by heart. Take your own time and it is to be learned very well. And with that, the questions are asked 100%. You must know that. Clear these reactions? Somebody put on your this thing video. Lakshida, put your video and let me know how much you understood it. If you have followed it, just thumbs up. You must go through the NCERT book, and any problem regarding this one, ask me in my next class. I think most probably by Saturday. You may be having the class also one day, so you let me know about it. All right. Now the next topic, I think the metallurgical portion is being deleted from the CBSE syllabus. So we'll come to know that later. It is being deleted, so it is not to be asked for the examination. It is not to be asked for the examination. So we'll go on with the next one. That is the chemical bonding. The bonding reaction is to be understood. The reaction goes like this way. How do metals and non-metals react? How do metals and non-metals react? This reaction is a reaction of combination. The reaction between metals and non-metals is an example of reaction of combination. As well as this reaction is a reaction of redox. You must understand it. Reaction between metals and non-metals is always a reaction of combination. And remember, the first chapter we are studying. During the reaction of combination, energy is released. Heat energy will be released. That is what is taking place. Energy is released. And in this reaction, it is a reaction of redox. Redox in the sense that there is the transfer of electrons. Now let's understand the formation of sodium chloride. Understand the reaction between sodium and chlorine. You all know that sodium's atomic number is 11, electronic configuration is 2 in 1. Chlorine has atomic number 70, electronic configuration 27. Understood? Therefore, you know down. All atoms present, try to get all atoms or all elements, try to get the nearest inert gas configuration. Elements try to get the nearest inert gas configuration, because inert gases are the most stable atom or molecule. Inert gases are having the most stable structure. A chemical reaction take place. A chemical reaction take place. Chemical reaction take place only when the electrons are. Chemical reaction take place only when the electrons are transferred or shifted or shared. Every atom tries to get the stable. Every atom tries to get the stable electronic configuration. Stable electronic configuration of the nearest inert gas. Every atom tries to get the stable electronic configuration of the nearest inert gas. Nearest inert gas. Now, understand it? Why do I say it this way? Because inert gases are the most stable molecule or atom. They don't react at all. So it is being said that an atom, remember I told you in my first class, the basic difference between atoms and molecules is this. Atoms are unstable, molecules are stable. So whatever is existed in this universe is only the molecule which are stable. So we are highly helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. These inert gases exist as atoms and they are stable. So therefore chemists say every atom tries to get the nearest inert gas configuration. And how that configuration is obtained, you are studied in class 9, ions. Sodium has the configuration 281. It is near to argon. Neon. Neon's atomic number is 10, its electronic configuration is 28. So what it says, the sodium wants to get the configuration of neon. And if sodium, now we say that sodium is a reactive element. And why sodium is reactive? Because sodium is ready to use this electron. The chemical reaction takes place when the electrons are given. Something happens to the valence electron. We are studying last year. Valence electrons are electrons to the outermost orbit. Sodium has one valence electron present. So as long as sodium atom is having this electron, we say sodium is reactive. It is keep on giving the electron. It continuously transfers the electron until that was once the electron is transferred, sodium gets the configuration neon. It has the 2-8 configuration, and once that 2-8 configuration is obtained, what do we say? That atom is stable. Understood it clearly? And this is a basic funda involved in any chemical reaction. Why we say that this atom is chemically reactive? Because that atom is ready to lose, ready to gain, ready to share or something. If something takes place in the valence electron, then what can we say that it is reactive? And once that electron is gone, once the element has got a stable configuration like this, the nearest inert gas, then what do we say? It is not going to react. So first thing what is taking place is, this is what has taken place. Sodium is ready to lose electron, and when sodium loses its one electron, it gets a configuration neon, that is easy. And once sodium, you know that it has got 11 protons and 11 electrons, that is 11 positive, 11 negative. And when one electron is gone, it has got 10 electrons. So the charge of the sodium becomes, once it loses electron, Na plus. This is also a question. Give the electronic configuration of Na and give the electronic configuration of Na plus. Na, when it is mentioned, it is neutral element. Neutral element means 11 number of, remember first 20 elements you should know. Sodium's atomic number is 11, 11 protons, 11 electrons. So electronic configuration of sodium is 281. And whereas when we talk about Na plus, that one electron is gone, therefore its configuration is 28. Understood it clearly? So this is what is taking place. Thus,